The old farmhouse looked worse than the photos suggested. Taman stood in the overgrown driveway, staring at the peeling paint and broken windows. The real estate agent had called it a fixer-upper. Taman called it a project that would keep his hands busy and his mind quiet. He needed that. The quiet, the work. Anything to stop the dreams. The house had belonged to an old scientist who died alone 6 months ago. No family came forward, so the bank foreclosed and sold it cheap. Taman had saved his military discharge pay for 3 years. This place was all he could afford, and that was fine. He did not need much. Just 4 walls and silence. The first week passed in a blur of cleaning and repairs. Taman worked from sunrise to sunset, removing trash and broken furniture. The previous owner had been a hoarder. Papers and equipment filled every room, strange equipment that Taman did not recognize. Machines with buttons and screens that no longer worked. On the 8th day, Taman started on the basement. The stairs creaked under his boots. His flashlight cut through the darkness, revealing more junk and cobwebs. The basement was smaller than it should be. He paced it out, measuring with his steps. Something was wrong. The space did not match the house's footprint above. He tapped the walls, listening for hollow sounds. Nothing. Then he tried the floor. In the far corner, beneath a pile of old tarps, the floorboards sounded different, hollow. Taman pulled away the tarps and found a section where the boards did not quite match the others. He fetched his crowbar from upstairs. The boards resisted at first, then came loose with a groan of old nails pulling free. The smell hit him immediately. Unwashed bodies, waste, and something else. Something sickly sweet like infection. Taman shone his flashlight into the gap. His breath caught in his throat. A cage. A metal cage barely big enough for a large dog sat in the hidden space beneath the floor. Inside the cage was a girl. No, not a girl. Not human. She was small and thin, curled into a ball in the corner of the cage. Her skin was a pale, silvery blue color that seemed to glow faintly in the flashlight beam. She had no hair, and her head was smooth and elongated. Her arms were wrapped around her knees, and he could see chains attached to metal cuffs on her wrists and ankles. The chains connected to bolts in the floor of the cage. Taman's medic training kicked in before his shock could freeze him. He jumped down into the hidden space, landing hard on the concrete floor. The cage was locked with a heavy padlock. The girl did not move. She might already be dead. "Hey," Taman said softly. "Hey, can you hear me?" She flinched. Alive then. Her head turned slightly and he saw her eyes. They were huge and black, taking up half her face. Completely black with no visible pupil or white. They reflected his flashlight like an animal's eyes. Those eyes were filled with terror. "I am not going to hurt you," Taman said, keeping his voice calm and low. The same voice he used with injured soldiers who were going into shock. "I am going to get you out. Just stay calm." He ran back upstairs for bolt cutters. His hands shook as he grabbed them from his toolbox. An alien. There was an alien in his basement. An alien that someone had caged like an animal. The previous owner. That crazy old scientist had kept her prisoner. How long? Weeks? Months? Years? Taman forced himself to breathe slowly as he descended back into the basement. The girl had not moved. He cut through the padlock and the cage door swung open with a rusty squeal. She whimpered and tried to push herself further into the corner. "It is okay," Taman said. "I am a medic. I help people. I'm going to help you." He reached slowly into the cage. She made a sound, high-pitched and frightened. Not words, just fear. But she was too weak to fight him. Taman carefully lifted her out of the cage. She weighed almost nothing. Her skin was cold to the touch and dry like paper. In the light, he could see the scars. They covered her arms, her legs, her torso. Burn marks, cut marks, marks from injections and electrodes. Someone had hurt her over and over again. His jaw clenched so hard his teeth ached. He carried her upstairs to his bedroom, the only room he had fully cleaned. He laid her on his bed and grabbed his first aid kit. She curled into a ball again, shaking. Her huge black eyes followed his every movement. Taman started with water. He held a bottle to her lips. At first she turned away, but then her tongue darted out to taste it. She grabbed the bottle with both hands and drank desperately. Water spilled down her chin. He had to pull it away before she made herself sick. "Slow," he said. "Drink slow." Next he examined her wounds. Most were old and healed badly. Some were infected. He cleaned them carefully with antiseptic, warning her before each touch. She flinched every time but did not pull away. Maybe she was too weak. Maybe she understood he was trying to help. The chains on her wrists and ankles were locked. He cut them off with the bolt cutters, careful not to hurt her. The skin beneath the cuffs was raw and bleeding. He bandaged each wound with gentle hands. As he worked, Taman talked to her. It did not matter if she understood. The sound of a calm voice helped injured people stay calm. He told her his name. He told her she was safe now. He told her no one would hurt her again. He did not know if any of that was true. He did not know what to do with an alien. Should he call someone? The police? The military? No, they would take her away. Put her in a lab. Do more tests. More experiments. She had been someone's experiment already. Taman looked at her scars and made a decision. No one else would touch her. Not unless she wanted them to. When he finished treating her wounds, Taman brought food. Plain rice and boiled chicken. She ate it with her hands, fast and messy. She had been starving. He let her eat half, then took the bowl away. Too much food after starvation could kill. You can have more later, he promised. The alien girl looked at him with those huge black eyes. She made a sound softer this time. Not afraid. Something else. Maybe gratitude. Maybe just exhaustion. Taman pulled his sleeping bag onto the floor beside the bed. He would sleep there. She could have the bed. She needed it more than he did. As he turned off the light, he heard her breathing slow and deepen. Sleep. Good. Sleep would help her heal. In the darkness, Taman stared at the ceiling. His life had just become very complicated. He had an alien in his house, an alien who had been tortured and caged, an alien who had no voice and no way home. But for the first time in 3 years since he watched his squad die in an explosion, Taman felt something other than emptiness. He felt purpose. Tomorrow he would figure out how to help her. Tonight he would make sure she was safe. That was enough for now. The first morning was difficult. Taman woke to find the alien girl pressed into the corner of the room, watching him with those enormous black eyes. She had not moved from the bed except to retreat as far from him as possible. He spoke softly before moving. Good morning. I am going to stand up now. Then I will bring you water and food. He moved slowly, keeping his hands visible. Every sudden movement made her flinch. Taman recognized the signs. She had been hurt so many times that she expected every movement to bring pain. He brought water first, setting the bottle on the bedside table before backing away. She waited until he was across the room before reaching for it. She drank carefully this time, watching him over the rim of the bottle. Breakfast was plain rice porridge, easy to digest. He set the bowl on the table and retreated again. She ate quickly, using her long fingers to scoop the food into her mouth. Her fingers had an extra joint, he noticed. And her nails were not nails at all, but something harder, almost like claws but filed down. Filed down by the previous owner, probably, to make her less dangerous. The thought made Taman's blood boil, but he kept his expression calm. She needed calm. She needed to feel safe. This became their routine. Taman would wake, announce what he was going to do, then do it slowly. He brought water, food, and medicine for her wounds. He cleaned the room and changed the sheets while she watched from a chair. He talked to her constantly in a low, gentle voice. He told her about his day, about the repairs he was making to the house, about the weather, about anything and everything. She never responded, but her eyes followed him. She was listening. On the third day, she did not retreat to the corner when he woke. She stayed sitting on the bed, watching him. Progress. On the 5th day, she accepted food from his hand instead of waiting for him to leave it. Her fingers brushed his palm as she took the rice ball. Her skin was warmer now, not cold like that first night. That was good. On the 7th day, Taman woke to find her standing at the window. She had pushed the curtain aside and was staring out at the forest behind the house. Morning light made her silvery skin glow. She looked ethereal, beautiful in an alien way. She turned when she heard him move, and for the first time she did not look afraid. Just curious. You like the view? Taman asked. She tilted her head, a gesture he was starting to recognize as confusion. She did not understand Korean. Of course not. But she was trying to understand his tone, his expressions. Taman joined her at the window, keeping a respectful distance. He pointed at the trees. Forest, he said. He pointed at the sky. Sky. He pointed at the sun. Sun. She watched his finger, then looked at his face. She made a sound, soft and melodic. Not words, but something. Communication. Over the next days, Taman taught her words. Simple words: water, food, yes, no, safe, hurt. He would point at things and say the word. She would watch his mouth carefully, seeing how he formed the sounds. On the 10th day, she spoke. Water. It was rough and uncertain, but it was his language. Taman smiled, and she tilted her head again. She reached out slowly, and her finger touched the corner of his mouth, touching his smile. Then she tried to copy it, pulling the corners of her mouth up. It looked wrong on her alien face. Her mouth was not made for human expressions. But she was trying to communicate, trying to connect. Good, Taman said. That is very good. She pulled her hand back quickly, looking uncertain. But she had touched him voluntarily. That was huge progress. Trust was growing. By the 2nd week, her physical wounds were healing well. The infections cleared up with antibiotics from his military first aid supplies. The scars would remain, but at least the pain was fading. She moved more easily now, not like every step hurt. She started following him around the house, not close but near. She would sit in doorways and watch him work. Sometimes she would make sounds, her attempt at the words he had taught her. He would correct her gently, and she would try again. Taman found paper and pencils. He drew simple pictures and wrote words beside them. She studied them for hours, tracing the letters with her finger. Her learning speed amazed him. What took human children years to learn, she picked up in days. On day 15, she drew something herself. Taman found the paper on the kitchen table. It was a picture of a ship, a strange ship with smooth curves and no visible engines, and stick figures around it. One was blue like her. The others were different colors. Your people? Taman asked, pointing at the blue figure. She nodded. She had learned that gesture from watching him. Then she pointed at the ship and drew an X through it. She made a crashing motion with her hand and a sound like an explosion. Your ship crashed, Taman said softly. Another nod. She drew more. A stick figure, human-shaped. It found the blue figure. It put the blue figure in a box. A cage, the old man who lived here. He found you after the crash. He put you in that cage. She nodded again, and her whole body started shaking. Taman moved closer carefully. He held out his hand, palm up. An offer, not a demand. She stared at his hand for a long moment. Then she placed her hand in his. Her fingers were longer than his, and that extra joint made her grip strange, but it was warm and real. You are safe now, Taman promised. I will keep you safe. She made that melodic sound again. Then she tried words. Safi, Taman, Safi. Something in Taman's chest, something that had been frozen since the war, cracked. This alien girl, this tortured prisoner, trusted him. She spoke his name. She believed him when he said she was safe. He would not let her down. That night, Taman made a better dinner. Not just rice, but vegetables and meat. He cooked the way his mother taught him. The girl ate slowly, tasting everything carefully. Some things she liked. Some made her face twist in that alien way that might have been discussed. After dinner, she touched his arm. She pointed at herself, then at her chest. Your name? Taman asked. You want to tell me your name? She nodded. She opened her mouth and made a sound. It was beautiful and complex, full of tones his throat could not reproduce, clicks and whistles and harmonics. I cannot say that, Taman admitted. Can I give you a name I can say? She tilted her head, thinking, then nodded. Taman thought for a moment. Nira, can I call you Nira?
She repeated it.
Nira. Then she pointed at herself. Nira, yes, you are Nira. Taman smiled. It is nice to meet you, Nira. Nira tried to smile back. It still looked wrong, but Taman understood what it meant. She was happy. For the first time since he found her, she was something other than afraid. That night, Nira fell asleep on the bed as usual. But this time, she did not curl into a defensive ball. She stretched out, relaxed. Trusting that she was safe, Taman lay on his sleeping bag and watched over her. He had found her broken and terrified. Now she was healing. She had a name. She could speak. She could smile in her own way, but questions remained. What would he do long term? She could not hide in his house forever. Her people might be looking for her. Or others might come searching. The previous owner's research had to be somewhere. If anyone found it, they would know about Nira. Taman pushed those worries aside. Tomorrow's problems could wait for tomorrow. Tonight, Nira was safe, and that was all that mattered. In the darkness, he heard her breathing, slow and steady. The sound of healing, it was enough. 3 weeks after finding Nira, Taman started to feel like things might actually be okay. She was healthier now, putting on weight. Her skin glowed with proper color instead of that sickly pale shade. She could speak basic Korean, though her accent was strange and musical. She helped him around the house, simple things like folding laundry or washing dishes. She watched everything with intense curiosity. The way water came from the tap, the way the refrigerator kept food cold, the way the television showed moving pictures. "Your people do not have these things?" Taman asked one afternoon. Nira shook her head. "We have different, better." She struggled for words. "But same idea." "You understand technology then?" "Yes, I was student." Learning about other worlds, her face fell. Before crash, Taman wanted to ask more, but a knock at the door interrupted them. Nira's eyes went wide with fear. She had never heard anyone else at the house. "Hide," Taman whispered. Upstairs, quiet, Nira moved silently up the stairs. Taman waited until he heard the bedroom door close before answering the front door. A woman stood on his porch. She was in her early 30s, dressed in practical clothes with short hair and a friendly smile. She carried a basket covered with a cloth. "Hello," she said. "I am Hana. I live about 2 kilometers down the road. Wanted to welcome you to the neighborhood." Taman tried to smile naturally. "Thank you. I am Taman. I brought some side dishes." "Nothing fancy." Hana held out the basket. "Noticed you bought this old place. Brave of you." Old Dr. Kang was strange. Kept to himself, doctor. Taman took the basket, keeping his body blocking the doorway. That is what people called him. He had a doctorate in biology or something. Came out here 20 years ago and never left. Hana peered past him curiously. "How are the repairs going?" "Slowly, lots of work, I bet. If you need any help, let me know. I'm a veterinarian. Got my clinic down the road. Not much good with houses, but I know everyone around here. Can recommend good contractors. I appreciate that." Hana smiled, but her eyes were sharp. "Curious. You are military, right? I can tell." "Was medic. Got out 3 years ago. Looking for peace and quiet?" "Something like that." They talked for a few more minutes. Hana was friendly but persistent. She asked about his plans for the property. Whether he was living alone, whether he needed anything. Taman kept his answers short and vague. When she finally left, he watched her walk back to her truck. She looked back at the house once before driving away. Taman's instincts, honed by years of military service, told him she was suspicious of something. He locked the door and went upstairs. Nira was pressed against the wall beside the window, watching the driveway through a gap in the curtain. "She is gone," Taman said. Nira turned to him. "Danger?" "I do not think so. Just a neighbor. But we need to be more careful." Over the next few days, Taman noticed other things. A car that drove past too slowly. Lights in the forest at night. Small things that might be nothing, or might be something. He started checking the property perimeter every morning. One day he found footprints in the soft earth near the tree line. Boot prints. Someone had been watching the house. That night, Taman sat Nira down at the kitchen table. "I need to tell you something. I think someone might be watching us." Nira's hands clenched. "Who? I do not know. Maybe government. Maybe military. Maybe something else." He took a breath. "When your ship crashed, did anyone see it?" "I think yes. There were lights, sounds, then the old man came. If others saw it too, they might have been looking for you. Or for your ship. My ship is gone. Broken apart. The old man took pieces." "Where?" Nira led him to the basement. To the hidden space where he had found her cage. She pointed at the walls. Now that Taman looked carefully, he could see panels. He pried one open and found equipment. Alien equipment. Pieces of hull with strange markings. Devices that hummed with faint energy. "This is all evidence," Taman said. "If someone knows this is here, they will come for it. They will come for you." That night, Nira woke him with a touch on his shoulder. He jerked awake and she stepped back quickly. "Sorry," she whispered. "But something wrong." "What?" "I feel something. In my head, like searching." Taman sat up. "Your people? Can they find you?" "Maybe. My head was broken before, hurt, now healing. Maybe now they can feel me. Is that good or bad?" Nira's expression was conflicted. "I do not know, my people. They might think I am wrong now, contaminated, broken. They might leave me." Would they hurt you? No, but they might not want me. Not like this. She touched her scarred arms. I am damaged. Taman stood and placed a gentle hand on her shoulder. You are not damaged. You are a survivor. That is different. Nira looked up at him with those huge black eyes. What if they do not see it that way? Then we will figure something out together. The next morning, Hana returned. She knocked hard on the door, and when Taman answered, her expression was serious. Can I come in? She asked. This is not a good time. Taman, I saw something last night. Lights in your windows. Strange lights. Blue and white, moving. She looked directly at him. What is going on here? Nothing. Do not lie to me. I am not stupid, and I am not going to report you. But something is happening. She lowered her voice. Is it drugs? Are you in trouble? No drugs, then what? Because there are men in black cars asking questions in town. They showed me a picture yesterday. Asked if I had seen anything unusual. Any strange energy readings or lights. Taman's blood went cold. What did you tell them? Nothing. I told them I mind my own business. Hana crossed her arms. But they are not going away. They have equipment. Sensors or something. They are scanning the area. From upstairs came a soft sound. A footstep. Hana's eyes snapped toward the stairs. You have someone here, she said. Someone you are hiding. Taman made a decision. He could try to lie, but Hana was clearly smart and observant. If government agents were already in the area, he might need help. Might need someone who knew the area and had connections. If I show you, Taman said slowly, you have to promise to keep it secret. No matter what you see? Hana studied his face. Is anyone being hurt? No, the opposite. Then I promise. Taman called upstairs. Nira, come down. It is okay. Slow footsteps on the stairs. Then Nira appeared, her silvery blue skin almost glowing in the morning light. Her huge black eyes fixed on Hana. She moved to stand slightly behind Taman, uncertain and afraid. Hana stared. Her mouth opened, closed, opened again. That is, you have. Is that an alien? Taman finished. Her name is Nira. The previous owner kept her in a cage. Tortured her. I found her and I am helping her heal. Hana took a step closer, then stopped herself. Her veterinarian instincts were clearly fighting with her shock. Is she injured? She was. She is healing now. And those men looking for her? Probably. Hana looked from Nira to Taman and back. Then she did something unexpected. She smiled. Not a scared smile or a shocked smile. A genuine warm smile. Well, Hana said, I guess I should properly introduce myself. I am Hana. I help animals. All kinds of animals, apparently. She looked at Nira. Can you understand me? Nira nodded slowly. Yes, some words. Are you in pain? No, Taman helps. Hana's smile widened. Good, that is good. She turned to Taman. Okay, we need a plan. Those agents are not going away, and they have technology to track her. We need to hide her better or move her, and we need to figure out what they know. You are not afraid? Taman asked. Terrified, Hana admitted. But I am also a veterinarian. I help living things that need help. That includes her. She looked at Nira again. We are going to keep you safe. All of us. For the first time, Nira smiled. A real smile, not the awkward copy of human expression. Thank you, she said carefully. Thank you, Hana. The outside world had found them. But now, at least, they were not alone in facing it. Hana became a regular visitor after that day. She brought supplies that Taman could not easily buy without raising questions. Medical equipment from her veterinary clinic. Books and learning materials. Food that might be gentler on Nira's alien digestion. The three of them developed a routine. Hana would come in the mornings before her clinic opened. She would check Nira's healing progress with a professional eye. The scars were fading to silvery lines against Nira's blue skin. The psychological scars took longer. She still flinches when I move too fast, Hana observed one morning. How long was she in that cage? I do not know. Months at least. Maybe years. Taman watched Nira examining a book of earth animals. She does not talk about it much. Trauma like that takes time. Hana paused. I have been thinking. That old doctor, Kang, he must have kept records. Research notes. If those agents find them, they will know everything about Nira. I have been searching the house. Nothing yet. Keep looking. And we need to understand what she can do. Her abilities. As if hearing them, Nira looked up from her book. I can show you something. Now that I am better, She set down the book and closed her eyes. Taman felt something touch his mind. Not words exactly, more like feelings, images. He saw himself through Nira's eyes, saw how she perceived him. Safe, warm, protector. Then the sensation faded. Nira opened her eyes. That is what my people do. We share thoughts, feelings, before I was too hurt. Now it is coming back. Hana rubbed her temples. I felt that too. Like you were in my head. I do not go deep. Just surface. Just emotions. Nira looked worried. Is it bad? Does it scare you? No, Taman said immediately. It is part of who you are. But it worried him. If Nira's telepathic abilities were returning, could others of her kind sense her? Could these government agents detect it somehow? That afternoon, Taman finally found what he was looking for. In the attic, hidden under loose floorboards, he discovered a metal box. Inside were notebooks. Dr. Kang's research journals. He sat in the dusty attic and read. What he found made his stomach turn. The journal started normal enough. Kang wrote about seeing strange lights in the sky. About investigating and finding the crashed ship. About discovering Nira in the wreckage, injured and unconscious. The first entries showed concern. Kang brought her to his house to help her. He treated her wounds. He tried to communicate. He seemed genuinely interested in peaceful contact. But then something changed. Kang became obsessed with understanding her biology. He started taking samples, blood, tissue. At first he claimed it was for medical reasons, to help her heal. Then the experiment started. Kang wanted to understand how she was different from humans. He subjected Nira to tests. Electricity to measure her nervous system responses. Chemicals to see how her body processed them. Stress tests to see her breaking points. The journals documented it all in clinical detail. How she cried during the experiments. How she begged him to stop in her alien language. How Kang convinced himself it was necessary. That the knowledge was worth the cost. The final entries were almost incoherent. Kang knew he was dying. His heart was failing, but he refused to let Nira go. She was his discovery. His proof that aliens existed. He could not let her escape before someone else could verify his work. So he built the cage. Chained her. Left her there to wait for whoever found her next. Taman threw the notebook across the attic. His hands shook with rage. Kang had been a scientist. An educated man. And he had done this to a frightened, injured girl just to satisfy his curiosity. He brought the journals downstairs. Hana read them with a pale face. Nira refused to look at them. She knew what they contained. He started good, Hana said quietly. He meant to help at first, but he did not, Taman said. He hurt her, tortured her, all for research. It shows how easy it is, Hana continued, to justify terrible things, to tell yourself it is for knowledge. For science, for the greater good. She looked at Nira. I am sorry. I am sorry one of us did this to you. Nira spoke softly. Not one. The old man. Not you, not Taman. Not all humans are same. No, Hana agreed. But enough are that you are right to be careful. That night Hana stayed late. She taught Nira more about Earth, about human culture and history, about the good and the bad. Nira absorbed it all like a sponge. Your people, Hana asked. What are they like? Would they help you? Nira hesitated. My people are careful, suspicious of others. We have rules. Do not contact primitive species. Do not interfere. Observe only. We are primitive, Taman asked. In technology, yes. In other ways. Nira struggled for words. My people have peace. No war, no violence. But also no passion. No strong feelings. We are logical. Cold, maybe. You are not cold, Hana said. I was raised to be. But being here, with you both, I feel more. Sadness, happiness, anger, things my people try not to feel. Why? Taman asked. Because feeling too much leads to chaos. That is what we are taught. Better to be calm, logical, safe. Hana and Taman exchanged glances. It sounded lonely. A life without strong emotions seemed empty even if it was peaceful. The next morning brought danger in an unexpected form. Hana arrived early, her truck skidding to a stop in the driveway. She ran to the door, pounding hard. They are coming, she gasped when Taman opened the door. The agents. They have equipment reading energy from this house. They are getting a warrant right now. You have maybe 2 hours. Nira appeared at the top of the stairs. What do we do? Taman's military training took over. We run, grab only essentials. Food, medicine, money. We leave in 10 minutes. They moved fast. Taman packed his old military bag with supplies. Hana emptied her veterinary emergency kit into a backpack. Nira had nothing to pack except the clothes Taman had bought her and a stuffed animal Hana had given her. Where will you go? Hana asked. I have a friend, old military buddy. Lives up north. He will not ask questions. Taman looked at Hana. This is dangerous. You do not have to be involved anymore. Too late for that. Besides, someone needs to stay behind and play innocent. I will tell them I was just a neighbor. I saw nothing. They might not believe you. Let me worry about that. Hana hugged Nira carefully. Stay safe. Both of you, Nira hugged her back. Thank you. For everything. They left through the back of the property using paths through the forest. Taman's old truck was hidden in a shed, already loaded with camping gear from when he first moved in. They climbed in, and he drove without headlights until they reached the main road. In the rearview mirror, Taman saw vehicles approaching his house. Black SUVs with tinted windows. The agents had arrived. Nira watched the house disappear behind them. Will we ever go back? I do not know, Taman admitted. Right now we just need to stay ahead of them. Where do we go after your friend? Taman did not have an answer. They could not run forever. Eventually they would be caught or Nira would be found by her people or something else would happen. But for now, they were together and free. That would have to be enough. Nira reached over and placed her hand on his arm. Through her touch, he felt what she was feeling. Fear, yes, but also gratitude, trust, and something that might have been hope. We will figure it out, Taman promised. Together. The road stretched ahead of them, leading into an uncertain future. But they were not alone. They had each other. And somewhere behind them, Hana was covering their escape. Sometimes, Taman thought, humanity's greatest strength was not violence or technology. It was the ability to care for someone different, to protect someone vulnerable, to choose kindness even when cruelty would be easier. Nira had been hurt by the worst of humanity. Now she was being protected by the best of it. That had to count for something. The sun rose ahead of them, painting the sky in shades of orange and gold. A new day, a new beginning. They drove on. Taman's military friend lived in a cabin deep in the mountains. Doyen was a large man with scars on his hands and a quiet way of moving. He asked no questions when Taman arrived with Nira. Just nodded and showed them to the spare room. You can stay as long as you need, Doyen said that first night. No one comes up here. No internet. No cell service. Just peace. They stayed for 2 weeks. Taman thought they might be safe. He was wrong. It was Nira who sensed them first. She woke Taman in the middle of the night, shaking his shoulder. They are coming. I feel them. Searching for me. Your people? No, humans, many humans. They are close. Taman woke Doyen. They packed in darkness and left through the back trails Doyen used for hunting. Behind them, they heard vehicles approaching. Saw flashlights cutting through the trees. How did they find us? Doyen asked as they hurried through the forest. I do not know, Taman said. But he was lying. He knew exactly how. Nira's telepathic abilities were getting stronger. Whatever equipment the agents had, it could track that. She was like a beacon they could not turn off. They made it to Doyen's old truck hidden in a ravine. He had kept it there for emergencies. Take it, he said. I will lead them away. Buy you time. That is too dangerous, Taman protested. I was in your squad. You saved my life twice. This is nothing. Doyen smiled grimly. Besides, I am good at disappearing. Go, keep her safe. They drove south this time. Taman called Hana from a payphone in a small town. She answered on the first ring. Are you okay? She asked immediately. For now. You? The agents questioned me. I told them I barely knew you. Just a neighbor who bought groceries in town. I do not think they believed me, but they let me go. She paused. Taman, they have equipment I have never seen before. Sensors, scanners. They are tracking something about Nira. Something she gives off. I know. We cannot hide from them forever. Then stop hiding. Find a way to fight back. How? They have the government behind them. Resources, technology. And you have the truth. That they are hunting an innocent being. That they want to lock her up and study her like Kang did. Hana's voice was fierce. There are good people in the world. People who would help if they knew. Taman thought about that after hanging up. Hana was right. Hiding would not work long term. They needed a different strategy. That night, staying in a cheap motel, Nira showed him something. She opened her mind wider than before, and he saw flashes of her memories. Her homeworld, beautiful cities that floated in the sky. Her family, others of her kind moving gracefully through crystalline structures, and he saw the crash. The terror of falling, the pain of her injuries, the hope when Kang first found her, then the slow horror as his help turned to torture. "I am sorry," Taman said when the vision faded. "I am sorry for what he did to you. Not your fault." Nira looked tired. "But I understand now. Why you help. You feel responsible. For all humans. No, I help because it is right. Because you deserve to be safe. My people would not understand that. Helping someone from another species. Taking such risks." She looked at him with those huge black eyes. "You are strange. You humans, you can be so cruel, but also so kind. How do both exist in one species?" "I do not know," Taman admitted. "We are complicated. We have the capacity for great good and great evil. What we choose depends on the person." Over the next days, they kept moving. Small towns, back roads, never staying anywhere more than one night. But the agents kept finding them. Always a day behind. Sometimes only hours. Nira grew weaker. The constant running and stress took a toll. She was not eating well. Not sleeping. The fear in her eyes reminded Taman of when he first found her. "We cannot keep this up," he told her one morning. "You are getting sick. I know. I am sorry. I am a burden." "No, never say that." Taman knelt in front of her. "You are not a burden. You are someone I am choosing to protect. That is different. Why? Why risk so much for me?" Taman thought about his answer. "Because when I found you, I was empty. Going through motions of living but not really alive. I was broken by the war, by losing my friends. But helping you, protecting you, it gave me purpose again. It made me remember what it means to be human. The good kind of human." Nira touched his face gently. Through the contact, he felt what she felt. Understanding, gratitude, and something deeper. Connection. That afternoon, everything changed. They were in a diner in a small town when Taman noticed the black SUVs pulling into the parking lot. He grabbed Nira's hand, ready to run, but this time there was no escape route. The agents surrounded the building. A woman in a black suit walked in. She was tall and cold-looking, with sharp eyes that missed nothing. "Taman," she said, "I am Agent Bora. We need to talk. I have nothing to say to you." "Then listen." She sat down across from them. "We know about the alien. We know you have been hiding her. We know about Dr. Kang's research. You are not taking her." "That depends." Bora looked at Nira. "We are not monsters. We have protocols. Procedures for first contact. Protocols that involve caging someone?" Taman's voice was hard. "Experiments? Kang was not one of us. He was a civilian who broke every rule. What he did was illegal and cruel." Bora leaned forward. "But she cannot just roam free. She is an alien, a potential security risk. There are procedures. She is a person, not a risk. How do you know? Can you verify she is telling the truth about her intentions? That she is not a scout for an invasion?" Nira spoke up, her voice quiet but clear. "I am not a scout. My ship crashed. I was injured. The old man imprisoned me. Taman saved me. That is the truth." Bora studied her. "Even if I believe you, others will not. There are people in my organization who see you as a specimen, a source of technology. They want to study you. Like Kang did," Nira said. "Yes, like Kang did, and I cannot stop them. Not legally." Bora paused. "But if you come willingly, if you agree to limited observation and testing, I can ensure you are treated humanely, protected." "No," Taman said. "I do not trust you. You do not have a choice. We found you. We will keep finding you. You cannot run forever." Bora stood. "I am giving you until tomorrow morning to decide. Turn yourselves in, or we take her by force. Either way, this ends." She left. Through the diner window, Taman watched the agents take up positions around the building. Surrounding them, trapping them. Nira touched his hand. "Maybe she is right. Maybe I should go with them." "No, I am tired of running. Tired of putting you in danger. There has to be another way." Taman thought hard. "Your people. You said your abilities are returning. Can you contact them? Send a signal? Maybe, but they might not come. I am contaminated. I lived with humans. By our laws, I should be quarantined. Maybe abandoned? Try anyway. If they come, they can protect you. Get you away from these people. Nira closed her eyes. Taman felt the mental strain as she reached out, sending a telepathic message into space, calling for help from people who might not answer. They waited in that diner as the sun set, agents watching from outside, Nira trembling with exhaustion from her mental effort. Did it work? Taman asked finally. I do not know. Maybe they heard. Maybe they ignored. Nira looked at him with tired eyes. What do we do now? Taman looked at the agents outside, at the weapons they carried, at the certainty in their postures. They would not let Nira go. Not peacefully. We fight, he decided. If they want you, they will have to go through me. You cannot win. Maybe not. But I can give you time. Time to escape or time for your people to arrive. Either way, I do not let them take you without a fight. Nira's eyes filled with something like tears. Her people did not cry, but the emotion was the same. You would die for me? I would try very hard not to die, but yes, if that is what it takes. Taman squeezed her hand. You are not a specimen. Not a risk. Not a problem to be solved. You are Nira, and you deserve to be free. Outside, the agents checked their weapons. Night fell and the standoff continued. Somewhere above, Nira's message traveled through space, hoping for an answer. Tomorrow would bring confrontation, violence, maybe death, but tonight they had each other. They had hope. And they had the choice to stand and fight rather than run. Sometimes that was all anyone could ask for. Dawn came with tension thick as fog. Taman had not slept. He spent the night planning escape routes and defensive positions. Old skills from the war coming back. The diner owner had fled hours ago, leaving them alone. Agent Bora approached at exactly 8 in the morning. She stood outside the diner window speaking through a megaphone. Taman, this is your last chance. Send the alien out peacefully. You will be charged with obstruction, nothing more. Resist and things get worse. Taman stood where she could see him. Her name is Nira, use it. This is not negotiable. Then we have nothing to discuss. Bora lowered the megaphone. Even from a distance, Taman could see her frustration. She gave hand signals to her team. They moved into position, preparing to breach the building. Nira touched Taman's arm. I felt something just now. A response to my signal. Your people? I think so. But they are far. It will take time for them to arrive. Hours, maybe. Then we hold out for hours. Taman checked the back exit. Still clear, but would not stay that way long. Can you sense what they are planning? Nira closed her eyes, reaching out with her mind. The woman, Bora, she does not want violence. But others do. They see me as a prize. Something to capture and study. They are excited. Excited to hurt you? Excited to own something alien. To be the ones who brought in a real extraterrestrial. It made Taman sick. These were supposed to be professionals. Government agents. But they saw Nira as an object, not a person. The first breach came from the back. 3 agents rushed through the kitchen entrance. Taman was ready. He had moved the diner tables into a barricade. Not perfect, but enough to slow them down. Federal agents, stay where you are. Taman grabbed Nira's hand and pulled her toward the front. They burst through the main door, surprising the agents positioned there. Taman had learned in the military that the best defense was sometimes a charge. Do what the enemy does not expect. They ran across the parking lot. Gunfire cracked behind them. Warning shots, not kill shots. Bora still wanted them alive. They made it to the tree line beyond the diner. The forest was thick here, hard to navigate. That would slow the agents with their equipment and body armor. Taman knew how to move through rough terrain, another gift from his military training. Behind them, shouts and radio chatter. The agents were organizing a pursuit. Taman pulled Nira deeper into the woods, following a small stream. Water masked their tracks. They ran for an hour. Nira stumbled several times. She was not built for this kind of physical exertion. Her people were more advanced, less physical in their evolution. Finally, she collapsed against a tree, gasping. I cannot run more. Taman knelt beside her. How long until your people arrive? Soon, I feel them getting closer. But the humans are close too. Then we make our stand here. Taman looked around. They were in a small clearing with good visibility. Defensible. Can you send another signal? Tell your people exactly where we are. Nira nodded and closed her eyes. Taman felt the mental pulse as she sent the message. It was stronger this time. more controlled. She was getting better at using her abilities. The agents found them 15 minutes later. They came from all sides, weapons raised. Agent Bora walked into the clearing with 6 armed men behind her. "Enough running," she said. "You are both exhausted." "This is over." Taman stood in front of Nira. "You will not take her. I admire your loyalty. Really, I do. But this is foolish. You are one man. We are many." Bora signaled her team to advance, then the sky split open. There was no other way to describe it. Space itself seemed to tear apart above the clearing. Light poured through, brilliant and white. A ship descended. Not slowly like a helicopter. Instantly, like it simply appeared. The ship was beautiful and terrifying. Smooth curves of metal that seemed to flow like water. No visible engines or seams. It hovered silently above them, larger than any aircraft Taman had seen. The agents froze. Weapons pointed uselessly at the ship. Radios crackled with panicked voices. A beam of light shot down from the ship. 3 figures materialized in the light. Aliens, like Nira, but taller, stronger. They wore clothing that shimmered like liquid metal. Their skin was deeper blue than Nira's, and their eyes were larger. One stepped forward. Male, Taman thought, though it was hard to tell. He radiated authority in his posture. "I am Vane," the alien said in perfect English, commander of the Solari scout vessel. "You will release my citizen immediately." Agent Bora recovered quickly. "This is Earth territory. Federal jurisdiction. The alien is under our protection." "Protection?" Vane's voice was cold. "Is that what you call hunting her through your forests? She is a security concern. An unidentified extraterrestrial on our planet. She is a child. Injured in a crash. Imprisoned and tortured by one of your people for months." Vane's eyes swept across the agents. "We have been monitoring your broadcasts. We know what happened to Nira. We know what you intended to do." Another agent, younger and more aggressive, raised his weapon. "Sir, we should contain them. All of them. We have the numbers." Vane moved faster than Taman could track. One moment standing still. The next he held the agent's weapon, crushed into scrap metal. The agent stood frozen in shock. "You do not have the numbers," Vane said quietly. "You do not have the technology. You do not have any advantage here. Release Nira. Now." Bora was smart enough to know when she was outmatched. "Stand down," she ordered her team. "All of you." Lower weapons. Nira stood on shaking legs. She walked forward, past Taman, past the agents. She stopped in front of Vane. "Commander," she said in her own language. Musical and complex, Vane responded in the same language. Then he switched to English. "You are injured. We will heal you aboard the ship. I do not want to go." Nira's voice was small. "You are Solari. You belong with your people. These people saved me, protected me. They are my people too now." Vane's expression was unreadable. He looked at Taman for the first time. "You are the one who freed her from the cage." "Yes. Why?" "What did you gain from helping her?" Taman met the alien commander's gaze. "Nothing. I gained nothing. I helped because she needed help. Because it was right." "Right." Vane tasted the word. "Your species has an interesting concept of right and wrong. You imprisoned her, yet you also saved her. You are violent, yet you show compassion. You are primitive, yet you risk yourselves for others." "We are complicated," Taman agreed. Vane turned back to Nira. "You wish to stay with them? With this human?" "Yes, he is my friend. He and Hana both. They protected me when my own people did not. We did not know you survived. We thought you died in the crash, but you did not search. Not really. You gave up quickly." Vane's silence confirmed it. Solari protocol was to avoid contact with primitive species, even at the cost of their own people. Bora interrupted. "Commander Vane, if Nira stays, she remains under Earth jurisdiction. We need assurances she is not a threat." "Nira is no threat. She is a xenobiologist, a student. She was on a research mission when her ship malfunctioned. Then you can verify her story. Provide documentation. We can establish proper diplomatic channels." Vane considered this. "First contact. Is that what you propose?" "Official first contact should be government to government. But maybe it starts here, with individuals." Bora looked at Taman and Nira. "With people who already trust each other." The third alien, silent until now, spoke to Vane in their language. Vane responded, a debate happening too fast for the translation devices to keep up. Finally, Vane nodded. We propose a compromise. Nira returns with us for medical treatment, full healing of her injuries. Then, if she still wishes, she may return to Earth as our official liaison. She will live with this human, Taman, and his associate. They will facilitate communication between our peoples. And these agents? Taman asked. They were hunting her. This one, Vane pointed at Bora, showed restraint. The others did not. We will be watching. Any further attempts to capture or harm Nira will be met with severe consequences. Bora swallowed but nodded. Understood. Nira looked at Taman. I do not want to leave you. I will be here when you come back, Taman promised. Get healed. See your family. Then come back if you want. I want to, she hugged him, a human gesture she had learned from Hana. Vane watched this with what might have been surprise. Your attachment to this human is strong, he observed. He saved my life. More than that. He gave me hope. Nira pulled back. I was broken. He helped me heal. Not just body, but spirit. The concept of spirit is not logical. Maybe not, but it is real. Vane gestured toward the ship. Come, your family waits. Nira walked toward the beam of light. At the edge, she turned back one more time. Thank you, Taman. For everything. Then she was gone, lifted into the ship in a column of light. Vane and the other Solari followed. The ship hung in the air for a moment longer, then simply vanished. Not flying away, just ceasing to be there. The clearing was silent. Agents stared at the sky. Bor looked at Taman. You just changed human history, she said. I just helped a friend, Taman replied. But he knew she was right. Nothing would be the same now. First contact had happened. Not in a dramatic landing at the United Nations. In a forest clearing because one human refused to let an injured alien suffer. Sometimes, Taman thought, history changed in small moments. Individual choices, single acts of kindness. He looked at the sky where Nira's ship had vanished and smiled. She was going home. And if she kept her word, she would come back. They would see each other again. He believed 6 months passed like a strange dream. Taman returned to his farmhouse, now government property, but returned to him under special circumstances. Agent Bora visited regularly, not as a hunter anymore, but as a liaison. She had been reassigned to the new First Contact Division, created specifically to handle relations with the Solari. Any word? She would ask each time. Not yet, Taman would reply, but he felt it, a presence at the edge of his mind. Nira reaching out across the stars, letting him know she was alive, healing, remembering. Hana became his closest friend during those months. She visited almost daily, bringing food and conversation. They never talked much about what happened. There was no need. They had both been part of something extraordinary. That bond did not need words. Do you think she will really come back? Hana asked one evening. Yes, Taman said without hesitation. How can you be sure? I just am. The world changed around them. News of First Contact spread slowly at first, then exploded. The government tried to control the narrative, but too many agents had seen the Solari ship. Videos leaked. Witnesses came forward. Humanity learned they were not alone in the universe. Some people celebrated, others panicked. Most just tried to understand what it meant for their daily lives. Taman stayed out of the spotlight. Reporters tried to find him. He refused all interviews. This was not about him. It was about Nira and what she represented. The possibility of connection across impossible differences. Then, on a Tuesday morning in early spring, Taman woke to find his room filled with soft blue light. He sat up quickly. A hologram floated above his dresser, Nira's face smiling. Taman, her voice came from the hologram. I am coming home tomorrow, I wanted you to know. The hologram flickered and vanished. Taman sat in the darkness, his heart pounding. She was coming back. She kept her promise. He called Hana immediately. She is coming tomorrow. I will be there, Hana said. The next day, Agent Bora arrived with a small team. The Solari contacted us. They are sending a diplomatic vessel. Nira will be on it. Will there be media? Taman asked. We tried to keep it quiet, but word leaked. There will be cameras, reporters, the whole circus. Bora looked apologetic. Sorry, I know you value privacy. It is okay. This is bigger than my privacy. They waited in the field behind Taman's house. Hana stood beside him, nervous. Bora and her team maintained a perimeter, keeping the media at a distance. Helicopters circled overhead. Cameras focused on the empty sky. Then, just like before space opened, the Solari ship appeared, larger than the scout vessel that took Nira away. It descended gracefully, landing in the field with no sound, no wind, no disturbance of the grass beneath it. A door opened in the smooth hull. Light poured out. Figures descended on a beam that solidified under their feet like walking down invisible stairs. First came Vane, the commander. Then two other Solari that Taman did not recognize. Then Nira. She looked different, healthy. Her skin glowed with proper color. She had gained weight and stood taller. But the biggest change was in her eyes. They held confidence now, strength. The terrified girl from the cage was gone. This was someone who had healed, but she still had the scars. Taman could see them on her arms. Faded now, but not removed. She chose to keep them. Nira walked toward him. Not running. Walking with dignity. When she reached him, she smiled. That awkward human expression she had practiced so many times. It looked better now. More natural. Hello, Taman. Hello, Nira. Welcome home. This is home now. You were right. I needed to go back. See my family. Heal properly. But this is where I belong. She looked at Hana. Both of you. You are my family too. Hana wiped tears from her eyes and hugged Nira tightly. We missed you. I missed you both. Every day, Vane approached. The Solari Council has agreed to establish an embassy here. Nira will serve as our primary liaison to humanity. She will live in this location with you if you still agree to this arrangement. I agree, Taman said. The council was skeptical. They believed Nira was compromised, too attached to humans, unable to be objective. Vane's expression softened slightly, but she convinced them, showed them that attachment is not weakness. That understanding comes from connection, not distance. She taught us the same thing, Hana said. Over the next hours there were formalities, introductions, speeches for the cameras. Agent Bora and Commander Vane signed preliminary agreements, the foundation of diplomatic relations between Earth and the Solari, but Taman only half listened. He watched Nira, the way she moved confidently now, the way she spoke to dignitaries without fear, the way she had transformed from victim to survivor to ambassador. Later, when the officials left and the media moved to a distance, Nira sat with Taman and Hana on the porch of the farmhouse. Just the three of them watching the sunset. Tell us about your homeworld, Hana said. Nira described it. The floating cities, the crystal architecture, the art and music of her people. But as she talked, Taman noticed something. She spoke of it with fondness but not longing. She was not homesick. Do you regret coming back here? He asked. No, my homeworld is beautiful. My people are advanced, but they are cold, Taman. Just like I told you. They think too much and feel too little. Nira looked at him. You humans. You feel everything. Joy, pain, anger, love. You are messy and complicated. But you are alive in a way my people are not. What did your family say when you told them you wanted to come back? They did not understand at first. They thought I was damaged, that my time in the cage broke something in me. Nira touched one of her scars. But I showed them. These scars are not weakness. They are proof that I survived. That I am stronger for what I experienced. What changed their minds? Hana asked. I showed them what you did. How you risked everything to protect me. How you fought for me when you had no reason to. How you treated me like a person, not an alien. Nira smiled. That is something my people can learn from yours. How to care about someone different. Vane appeared in the doorway. Nira, we must return to the ship for the night. Tomorrow you will move your belongings here permanently. I do not have belongings. Everything I need is here. Nevertheless, protocol requires I escort you back tonight. Tomorrow you will be free to live as you choose. Nira stood reluctantly. I will see you tomorrow then. We will be here, Taman promised. After she left, Taman sat in the darkness with Hana. They did not speak for a long time. Finally, Hana broke the silence. Do you realize what we did? We changed everything. First contact, diplomatic relations. All because you found a girl in a cage and decided to help her. I just did what was right. That is my point. You just did what was right. You did not think about consequences. About history. You saw someone suffering and helped them. Hana shook her head in wonder. Maybe that is humanity's real strength. Not technology. Not weapons. Just the stupid courage to help someone in need. Taman thought about that. About Dr. Kang, who started with good intentions but lost his way. About Agent Bora and her team, hunting Nira but capable of changing. About himself, empty and broken until he found purpose in protecting someone. Humanity was capable of great cruelty, but also great compassion. The species that built the cage also broke it open. The same hands that hurt could also heal. We are complicated, he said finally. Yes, Hana agreed. Complicated, messy, imperfect, but sometimes we get it right. The next morning, Nira returned. She brought only a small bag. Inside was the stuffed animal Hana gave her, now worn from holding. A few Solari items she wanted to keep, and a data pad containing photos of her family. Taman showed her to her room, the same bedroom where she first healed. He had prepared it carefully, adding things he thought she might like. Books about Earth, art supplies. A large window overlooking the forest. Is it okay? He asked. It is perfect. Nira set down her bag and turned to him. Thank you. For everything. For saving me. For protecting me. For letting me come back. You do not have to thank me. Yes, I do. Without you, I would have died in that cage. Instead, I am here. I am alive. I am free. That is because of you, she hugged him. A proper hug this time, not the awkward attempt from before. She had learned how to express affection the human way. Taman hugged her back, careful of her smaller frame. You saved me too, you know. I was lost before I found you. You gave me purpose, reminded me why life matters. They pulled apart. Nira's eyes were wet. Her people could cry after all, it turned out. When they felt strongly enough. We saved each other then, she said. Yes, I think we did. Over the following months, the farmhouse became something unique. Part home, part embassy, part symbol. Nira lived there with Taman and Hana, who moved into a spare room permanently. Other Solari visited regularly. Human diplomats came and went. Scientists asked questions. Children sent drawings, slowly, carefully. Two species learned to understand each other. There were misunderstandings, cultural differences, arguments. But there was also friendship, cooperation, hope. Nira thrived in her role. She translated between cultures. She taught humans about Solari technology and philosophy. She showed her people that humans were worth knowing, worth trusting, and she healed, not just physically but in every way. The traumatized girl from the cage became a confident woman, a bridge between worlds.